Okay, I am delighted to welcome Yuko Nakao to the Sasuka podcast. So Yuko, please tell us who you are and what you do.
Hi, Helen. Thank you for inviting me here today. So I'm Yuko. I work at Bushiroad, which is a Japanese company known for production of trading card games and mobile apps. Just like these cards.
I love you have props. It's wonderful.
By the way, some in the bookshelf.
This is great. The listeners to the Sasuka podcast can't see this, but you can also watch on the YouTube video. And so Yuko she just showed us the cards, and she's got some wonderful shelves of great products behind her.
We have anime products, comics, etc., etc. And so we call ourselves the IP developer because IP in Japanese, or intellectual property, is chiteki zaisan. So it means that we're creating more new intellectual property. Here, for us, it's like anime, comics, entertainment, lives, music, etc. So we make a lot of things. And I work with Bushiroad Move, which is a subsidiary of Bushiroad. And my company consists of 4 divisions: the advertising agency, voice actor agency, audio-visual production, and event production. So what we do is we are an advertising agency of Bushiroad Group. But for example, if you want to promote one product, we can do the promotion. We can book the voice actor. For example, if you want to make a television commercial, and we can also produce the movie for a television commercial, and we can hold events for that product. So we can do everything in our company.
That is wonderful. Wonderful. And I'm looking forward to asking you more questions related to your work and your company in a moment. I wanted to start off with the question that I ask so many of our guests, and that is word of the year. What's your word of the year?
I knew this question was coming up. So I was going to say this year was a challenging year. So the word would be challenge, but that's so common. So I changed it to flexibility.
Okay.
Yeah. So
why is that?
I had a lot of changes throughout the year. And one of the biggest changes was that I became president of Bushiroad Move last November. Before, I was working with the promotion team of Bushiroad, the head company. Yeah. So now I feel like I have to be more responsible because I have to check the cash flow, and I have a completely new team of 40 members. And so I had to get used to this new environment the past year. And it felt so weird when people started calling me Shacho. Shacho, it sounds so masculine.
Yeah.
And like the majority of management in our company are men. So it was really awkward when people call me Shacho. Yeah, but I got used to it somehow. Yeah, and so I've been working as a boss now, and not only the environment changed, but because of coronavirus, everything we had planned was back to the starting point. And so we faced lots of unexpected events, and we lost some opportunities. But because we're flexible, when one thing didn't turn out well, we went to find out the other solution. And it was stressful sometimes, but once you find the other way out, you feel extra accomplishment. So I really felt that you have to be flexible, because you never know, like next year there might be a new virus coming in once again, or like environment is changing every now and then.
Mm-hmm. So you've had like the business has changed itself, the business environment's changed itself. You need to be flexible there, but also for you personally in your work position. And, you know, what probably comes to mind for many people, especially when they see you, is that, you know, you are a young looking Japanese woman working in a business environment where I'm sure you have interactions with many senior males. Right. So what, can you tell us a little bit about that sort of experience?
Okay. So, just like Helen said right now, I'm 31, but people say I don't look like 31. I look like 18. Okay. Maybe not, but like 20 something.
Right.
Right. And if you see me just walking, you don't think I'm a president of a company. So like the people I talk with, I communicate with outside of the company are usually senior people, like manager class or president class people. And they are usually men, majority are men, and they are older than me. So yeah, it's and they don't think that I'm president.
Right.
First impression. So it's either she's so young, is she really president? Or wow, she's so young but she's president. It's either way.
Right.
But yeah, like, but still I have to communicate as a president.
Yeah.
And that's outside of my company, but even in the team, like there are people younger than me and there are people older than me, but usually in Japan, like there's this culture that you have to be really polite to your boss or like people upper than you. You have to talk with keigo. You have to talk in that, you know, in that weird polite way. But in English, you know, we don't do that. So maybe it's because I grew up outside of Japan. I generally have the sense I didn't learn to use that polite Japanese word. So well, it's casual. I use something between casual and polite. So I do respect the people higher than me, but I want to be having a friendly relationship rather than just only business. And even for the people younger than me, I try to keep I talk at the same level. I know that maybe like people respect me because I'm president, but like, there's no need to do that. They can like talk to me as a friend or, you know, like a teammate. They don't have to specifically like they don't have to buy tea for me. Like I can do that myself. And I do the same to people higher than me.
Okay. So how then when you said that people have that reaction to you of like, oh, is she really president? Or oh wow, she's so young and she's president. How do you, and also you said that you maybe don't use so much keigo. How do you build relationships and start to get that good communication going so that they, you know, so that they trust you?
Before, I used to go out drinking like 5 times a week. Because like when you go out to dinner, there's things that you can't hear during working hours. So yeah, and I think that's one way to get to know a person better. And yeah, alcohol helps me to talk with people.
And what about so even if it's a situation where maybe you are going into a meeting. I don't know if this is a realistic situation for you, going into a meeting where you may be meeting someone for the first time. You haven't had that opportunity to go out for drinks and build a relationship, outside the work situation. What do you do in those sort of situations to break the ice, or to, because they maybe a little bit surprised or hesitant or whatever?
I just have to be confident. Yeah, even if I'm nervous inside, I don't show it. I don't try to show it.
Okay, so what do you do? I love this, because this is something that is very interesting to so many of the Sasuka podcast listeners, is this issue of confidence. And if you don't have it, how do you specifically show it?
I try to talk louder than usual.
Oh, that's a good one. Yeah. Anything else? So voice volume, definitely, because that's something that I know that a lot of I was going to say women, but it's not just women, it's actually men as well, is they speak more quietly when they're less confident. So just intentionally increasing your volume. Is there anything else?
Also, I try to make eye contact.
Yeah. Anything? I'm like, what are the tips so that people can benefit from them? Eye contact and voice.
Yeah, so it's not about choosing the right words. It's trying to convey what I'm really thinking inside. Not to decorate my quotes, but
right.
Yeah.
Right. What I get from you, Yuko, is a real sort of impression of honne. Like, you're all about honne, and it's not the tatemae, it's the honne, being the real you. And that's kind of what I've heard from you in our conversation so far, is about being the real you, getting your message, what you really think across, and talking at that same sort of level to everyone.
Yeah, I do have an idea in my head, but I can't get the right words out.
What you want to say now?
Yeah. Well, in general. So that's why my honne comes out.
I see. Yeah.
I can't find the cool words to describe, so my honest feelings come out.
Well, and that sounds like it works pretty well. I mean, you wouldn't be where you are now if it didn't work. And it's really interesting. It's so funny, actually. I just had a coaching session before we are recording this conversation, and I just had this conversation with someone, and it was actually a guy who I was coaching, and he was saying that he wants to use more sophisticated words.
Oh, that's so me.
Right? And it's not just you. It's so many people. So many of my clients come and they're saying, I want to use more sophisticated words. The thing is, it's not really necessary. To me, that's it's like the icing on the cake, right? If it's the cake, the cake is the important part. The cake is the honne, and then if you have some sophisticated words, it can be good. But if it's too sophisticated words, then you lose the connection with your audience. It's more about using the same sort of language as your audience. Yeah,
that's what I wanted to say. Yeah, in the previous question, I was thinking of the word sontaku in Japanese. I couldn't find the English word for it.
Yeah, what do we say? And what was it you wanted to say about it? Sometimes I can't think of English words either.
So sontaku is you choose what to say to certain people.
Yeah. I don't know what we call it in English. Yeah. It is. Yeah, choosing what you. So yeah. And what else about this? What about sontaku in your opinion?
So there's a really good example. I don't know if it's a good example, but Fua-chan, the comedian. I really like her because she has the same attitude to everyone.
Right.
And somehow like it doesn't hurt anyone.
Uh-huh.
The people who she talks to don't feel like she's not polite, but she's very friendly. She doesn't use keigo, but you don't feel the the feeling, oh, why isn't she using keigo to me? Like you don't have that feeling when she's talking to you. Well, she's not talking to me, but yeah, I think she's crazy. She's crazy, but she has a skill to communicate with anyone. So
Right.
I think that's like her skill.
I mean, keigo is really interesting when you think about it, because keigo, it's being polite, but then it also can be distance.
Yeah.
Right? Because you can actually use keigo intentionally to separate yourself from people, right? So when you don't use keigo and you're friendly in the way that you talk, that actually is really, as you just said in this example, it's so powerful.
I think there's some certain levels of keigo as well.
Yeah, of course.
Like the politest keigo,
Yeah.
the casual keigo, friendly keigo, no keigo.
Yeah.
Yeah, and sometimes like I feel happy when people, like when they're really young, my young colleagues, when they don't use keigo to me, like oh, she's treating me as a friend. I'm so happy.
Exactly. Yeah. Tell us a little bit about your attitude, like extension of that, your attitude towards your team members. We were talking about this a little bit before we started the recording. Is the challenge that many companies and managers or leaders are facing right now as we're recording this, because we're still in the pandemic. We're still in the pandemic. I feel like I'm saying that so often in these episodes. And there are still, like, it's great you mentioned that you're still you're hiring, right? There's the Shinyu Shine coming in, and the challenges of welcoming Shinyu Shine into the company when you can't do all the things you would normally have done before coronavirus. So could you say a little bit about that?
Okay, so in the past few months, I don't know. I was gonna say how many people joined our company, but I can't remember. So every week, new people are joining our company.
That's amazing.
We're hiring so many people now.
That is amazing. Can I just say massive congratulations to you, because that is so incredible in these challenging economic times. That is wonderful.
Thank you. Thank you to the human resource team. Yeah. And so like when new people come in, they don't know anyone. So it's really hard for them to speak up. And there's a reason why we hired them, because like they had certain skills, or they had passion. So like there's a reason why they joined the company. And the people who originally work here have to welcome them to, they have to be able to relax in the company to show their skill, or to make to bring better results. So, and yeah, why I came to this is because of course I changed jobs a few times, and when I was a kid, my parents used to move around the world, and I changed schools every year. So yeah, like I know how it feels going into a new environment where everyone knows everyone else and it's just me. Doesn't know anyone. So it's just like that. When we welcome new employees, I want them to feel relaxed. I want them to speak what they want to speak out and be part of the team. So it's our job to be able to welcome them and enjoy their company life.
And
Yeah,
what do
and
you,
when
go ahead.
newer people come in, they know that they have to do that to the newer people.
Right. So what do
So
you,
it's like
what do you do to welcome people?
it's easy, but it's hard.
Uh-huh.
You you just get some time to talk with them, and in my department we have a desk. We have a long desk table, and you can sit wherever you want to. Because like, do you say free address? Yeah, it's free address now because of the coronavirus. Some people work at home and some people work in office. So I try to sit next to new people.
Oh, that's wonderful. Like, oh, Shacho's sitting next to me. Maybe they feel a bit nervous though.
Yeah. So like, if I sit next to them, like, I can have some chat with them. And when people come around, I can introduce them. Oh, this new person, like, she's doing this and this. So please help.
That's great.
Yeah, I can be, I don't know. It's not just only me, but by being close to them, there's more chances that he or she can meet new people.
Yeah. That I love that. I think because I'm so passionate about this as well, that when we're working, I mean, when you think about how long the average person spends of their day working, it should be fun. it should be
fun. Like,
it should be an enjoyable experience.
You don't want to sit there for 8 hours thinking, oh, I don't know anyone here. I'm so lonely.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That feeling should like finish in 1 or 2 days.
Yeah, maximum. So yeah, I think because when people are happy, they do better work. Right.
Yeah.
So the people are happy, they're doing better work. So yeah, I think that's wonderful, a wonderful message.
More motivation, and there's happy atmosphere.
Yeah, that's so great. So what else, what tips or resources or advice do you have for the Sasuka podcast listeners? Anything else?
I might be going through the same thing. But yeah, so communication is really important for team building, not just only for new people, but for the whole team. Because I don't know, if you want to ask someone a favor, like, your response depends on who is asking, doesn't it? Like, if someone that I know is asking me to do something, I'll be like, oh, okay, I'll do that for you. But if like a total stranger who has never talked to you comes up to you, can you do this? You don't want to do it.
Right.
Unless it's like polite. So like, you have to build up a relationship before you want to ask a favor.
Yeah.
So you have to have some communication in the team.
I love it. Yeah. It's all about communication. More communication, more fun in the workplace. I love it. Anything else that you want to share with us before we close for today?
Let me see. Do you have any good questions?
I mean, for me, what you've shared today has been so wonderful and inspiring. Like, you're a total role model by being a young-looking Japanese woman in a what's usually a very male-dominated society or environment. And that's just a great inspiration. And I love the way that you talk about the communication whoever you're talking to, you're talking from that honne sort of perspective. So I think that's wonderful, and building the team atmosphere, welcoming people in so that they can enjoy it and so that they can do a great job. That's great. So
I hope that there will be more women leaders in the future.
Yeah. Well, that's part of my sort of underlying intention with the Sasuka podcast is that a lot of the time we have our special guests who are very inspiring female leaders. We have some male guests as well, that our listeners get inspiration. And then, and it's also, I think this is really important, is understanding that for one person, each individual has kind of concerns and thinks maybe, oh, I'm not good enough or I'm not confident. And in fact, those feelings are so common. And it's just that people, like, as you said earlier on, that you put on the impression of confidence, even if you don't feel it inside to start with. And that's how you make progress. So thank you so much, Yuko.
Yeah, it was, I got the positive air by talking to you.
Yay! All right, love it. All right, thank you so much. It's been an absolute pleasure speaking with you, Yuko. Bye-bye.